Welcome back everybody, it's Jackie and I'm going to do a little craft with me today. This ATC challenge, which is part of the Shinuki full deck challenge. Just to backtrack slightly, because I have changed my mind about this, because I found in my craft room a pack of cards lurking. They're slightly larger than the normal ones. They're a nice size. They're 2 5/8 by 3 3/4. So I am going to use this pack of cards to do this 52 card challenge, or 52, maybe a few more. So I've been back. This is probably tells you a bit about my psyche. I've redone the first 2 cards on my Guinness pack. Very, very similar to what I did. You can follow it exactly the same. The only difference really is that on this one I didn't do the book page across the middle, and I did a slightly elongated heart and I moved it over, which I like the layout a little bit better. So that's that one, or 2. This is the title card, and this is A. We were going to go through the alphabet. So I've chosen B for bird. I quite like birds, and I thought we'd do a little collage background. I've cut out from a book a bird image, and I've got some papers off to the side here. And I'm just going to start with a bit of collage. I use glue stick for this, and I'm not really planning any of this particularly. I'm just going to see where it takes me. Hopefully it'll look all right. So this is an old sort of tax form type thing. It's a bit torn. The only other thing I do with these cards, because they've got a slight shine, I just take a bit of sandpaper, fine sandpaper, and I just take the top off, just so that anything that I'm sticking down does stick a little bit better. And yes, these have got rounded corners, but I've decided to go with it, not be so anal about my square corners. Right, just ferreting through this. I've got hundreds of scraps, but actually for this I tend to just not get out too many. And I don't want this to be covered in scraps of paper. I don't want you know, like 10 or perhaps even 5 smaller pieces. I want it to be fairly, not too busy a background, I suppose is what I'm saying. I think hopefully you'll see what I mean when we get there. I'm cutting this off as I go because I want to get a feel for the balance of this piece. Don't really want any straight edges. I quite like this red bit, so I'd quite like to leave that in, so let's do that across the top. So just something in the centre here, and I might go for a little, I'm just going to look at my bird, so it wants something, I'm just wondering whether to choose something that's got a little bit of green in it. What have we got? maybe something like that. So there's our basic background. And then when I look at it, so I haven't planned this. I have done an ATC in a similar way. So a lot of this is going to be covered up, but to me that doesn't pop quite enough. So I'm going to tone this down. You could use gesso over it, but I quite like using some of this paper, this sort of mulberry paper. So I'm just going to tear a bit of that off. Put that there. We'll have a bit on the other side as well. Maybe like that. Right, let's cut those off and see what we're left with. That just tones that whole thing, just knocks it back a little bit, which I quite like, and I personally think that that's going to be fine. I like to, as I told you before, I like to add some stamping to my card. You can see where I've been practicing. I've got this coffee ring stamp, so let's go with this. Just adds a little bit more interest, and it picks out some of the black that's in his little birdie wings. And I'm just wondering whether we need I think that background is busy enough. I was wondering whether to add a label or something like that, but I think I'll leave it. I want to take the white off the edge of this image. So I'm just using a Tombow art pen. So that's that. And I think it's going to go on like that. And I actually quite like the way this bit of green and this bit of green is picked up here. The red is now bothering me a little bit, so I want to add a bit more red to balance that out. So I'm going to, hopefully in here, I've got a label. Want it to be brightish. And I think I'm going to add this down here. To me, that's a lot better. It's not such a vivid red, but it does pick it up, it balances it out. I've probably done the rings over the top if I'd thought about that before, but we won't worry too much about that. What I might do is just pop the ring there. Yeah, that's better. So now I'm going to stick my image down. And if you're doing this sort of thing, I would make your focal point, which obviously is this bird, quite a reasonable size. You don't want something too tiny that's going to get a bit lost on something like this. And I know people say, well, you're covering up a lot of what you've done, but that's fine. That's how it should be. A nice big glob of glue here. Let's get rid of that. Don't know why I did that. I should have cut those off. But it's the same difference, doesn't really matter. So that's our card, more or less finished. I do want to go around the edges, and I'm using Black Soot Distress ink. This makes a massive difference. If you haven't got distress ink, you could go back and use your marker. And I want this to be quite dense, really. And then I'm going to put a little shadow using this Stabilo All Aquarellable pencil. So I'm just going round the edges of my image. Sorry, my head, honestly. You don't need too much of this. It does spread when you put the water on it. It does spread. A little puddle of water there and a paintbrush. I was a bit heavy-handed there, so that's gone. Just a simple thing, but it does improve the look, I guess. Well, I think it does. You might not agree. And you can see how the pencil reacts differently on the different papers, which makes it quite fun. It spreads out more on this mulberry paper. So there we go. Card number 3, and that's B for bird. So although it's very different, we will be doing, if I carry on with this, which is my plan, slowly, we will have a whole range of different types of art cards. I suppose what would be really good was if I did an alphabet technique with a thing. I feel that that's a little bit. Just spread that out a little bit. There. Bird. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.